From the end zone
To the mosh pit.
and the last house on the left. This is
Screams and schemes.
the only channel you get actively dumber by watching every day. And we're back. We're on Mock Draft 3.0 now. And today we're going to have to change things up a little bit. Things might be getting a little too stale with the way we were doing the first two. We're going to introduce a little bit more trading in this one. And we were talking before the show, and Kyle had an idea for the first one. Very first pick. He thinks it'd be a good idea for the Giants to trade up into the first pick so they can take their quarterback of the future. Now, you can explain yourself if you want, because I agree. I agree it fits.
So basically, just by reading the predictions and just feeling people out, just doing a little bit more research on it, I feel like the Giants are completely sold on Cam Ward, and I think GMs around the league for the most part are an even keel that Cam Ward is the number one quarterback in this draft. I feel like it's pretty much conclusive that Cam Ward, as of right now, is number one by far quarterback, and I think that's something that the Giants are in striking distance. When Tennessee, I think Tennessee would be like, okay, I could take Shador at 3 if Browns miss out on him. I could take Travis Hunter, or I could take Abdul Carter. And if they believe Abdul Carter is the best player in this draft, they still got a young quarterback in Will Levis. Not that I'm saying is the greatest thing ever, but even with a young quarterback, they still need a lot of help. So why not take the best player available? And Abdul Carter in this draft, in my opinion, is the best player available. And unless Travis Hunter's taking it too.
I'm not going to argue with that logic, but today I'm going to be the odds again. We're going to switch back. I'm the odds. He's the evens today. So either way, when this trade happens, I get the Titans and the Giants pick either way. And let's see about the compensation. So I'm thinking a fourth might be a little too much to pay just to move up 2 spots in the draft, but I get you're paying for your quarterback of the future. But I think a pick swap makes more sense to me. I think since it's only 2 spots and you're talking about the top 3 picks in the draft are always the most important, I'm thinking the Giants swap their 3rd round pick. What is this? Is this a 5th? Or no, this is a 4th, right? This is a 4th.
Yeah, the projections is they would have to give up their 3rd, which is pick 34, and they would have to give up a 2026 3rd round pick as well.
What is it? It's
a 3rd this year and a 3rd next year to move up to 1st.
I don't think that's even remotely. That's way too much. That's way too much. I could see them straight up giving a 4th, but even then, that's like kind of rich to me. I think we're gonna roll with a 4th, even though it really doesn't affect this draft all that much in terms of the future stuff. You guys can debate amongst yourselves on what you think the proper cost is going to be to move up here, but we're just going to throw a 4th at it because it doesn't affect this draft. This is a 1st round pick anyway. All right, so now the Giants are on the clock, and yeah, they're going to take their quarterback of the future. Where's he at? Cam Ward, highest ceiling. Physical freak. We don't have to go too much into it. We'll try to keep this video under an hour for you guys this time. Now you're on the clock with the Browns, Kyle.
So I did mention. So I think this is more like, okay, so we just freed up $35.6 million or whatever it was for Deshaun Watson. Yeah, you can go get a Kirk Cousins or you can go get a veteran quarterback. But I say it's about damn time we get the right quarterback or take a quarterback that people won't criticize us for taking because he has a lot of upside. I only makes sense if we're going to, restructure the contracts and get a lot of free agents, like a lot of money, that we go draft a quarterback, we bring in a lot of talent for that quarterback to succeed. Mm-hmm. You can still go get a Kirk Cousins, and Kirk Cousins could be the starter for 1 year and Shador's your guy. I mean, I don't see why Watson would touch the field. I mean, at this point. So I would take Shador over
2026 be a backup maybe at the most. We'll see about
it. Exactly.
All right. Now you did this. You want to do that trade in the hopes that they take Abdul Carter. There's 2 generational players staring you in the face here. You can't go wrong with either one in my eyes.
Nope.
But I think I'm going to stick with what I think they probably do need the most. They have good corners. They have a great corner in L'Jarius Sneed if he's going to stay healthy, if he wants to play for them. So yeah, we'll go with Abdul Carter this time. Pretty chalk, honestly. If he's there, I think the Titans are going to take him.
We talk about that pass rush though. If they had Abdul Carter and Jeffrey Simmons on the same line,
That'd be nasty. That'd be
that'd be
really
really
nasty.
nasty.
Now you're on the clock with the Patriots.
So I know Patriots are desperately wanting a wide receiver in this free agency market. They got a lot of names like Brandon Ayuk, AJ Brown. You know, they're asking, calling a lot of teams. But that being said, I don't think they're drafting one. I think they want a veteran wide receiver that's proven. I think right here, I think we need run stop, and I think we need a freak on defense.
Yes, sir.
But that being said, though, like I think Mason Graham's the best fit. But like you just said in your last pick, which makes a lot of sense, you have a generational talent in Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter. I think if you're not taking quarterback, obviously you have Drake May. So why don't we build this team for the best player available right here? So I would take Travis Hunter to the New England Patriots.
You're gonna lock that one in?
I'm gonna lock that one in. Yeah.
All right, let's do it. I don't hate the pick. I mean, if you're drafting him to be a corner, I love it. You have probably the best secondary in the league. It'd be crazy.
Yep.
All right. Now on to the Jags, who are going through it right now. I feel bad for you Jags fans. As a Bengals fan, my team's doing the same thing. I'm just sitting here smacking my forehead, wondering what the hell is going on. You lose two of your best weapons in Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram in one day. What's next? Like Travis Etienne's going to be gone. Like, come on now. You just have Brian Thomas. I think at this point this is chalk. There's nobody else you could go for other than maybe O-line. Will Campbell's in play. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like he's not, but it's got to be Tet. You got to go Tet. You guys are screwed. You guys need a weapon, and imagine Tet and Brian Thomas. It's awesome.
Better than Christian Kirk probably in year one, if I had to be honest. So I love that.
Absolutely. You get to the Raiders.
You know, you bring up a lot that they would take Ashton Jeanty, the best player available.
I truly believe they would take Ashton Jeanty.
Right. So, but the problem is the fifth best player is available, but also the fourth best player is available. And I think Mason Graham, because you paid Max Crosby. Like you just paid Max Crosby, right?
I ain't going off these rankings, brother, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but yeah. You just paid Max Crosby a lot of money. He needs help. I mean, the guy ain't a superhuman. He needs help. Mason Graham and Max Crosby is insane. Just like Jeffrey Simmons and Abdul Carter. Let's 100%. O-line, D-line wins games.
O-line, D-line, Howie.
So let's build. If we're a Raider, no, we don't have a quarterback to speak of. We know we can go get maybe Russell Wilson. We can go get something to win us some games. Ashton Jeanty here makes a lot of sense. I think a Will Campbell makes a lot of sense here. I'm gonna say Mason Graham is the best player available, and him and Max Crosby would be amazing together.
All right, well, I 100% agree with that. So Jets on the clock. I don't understand. There's some people on Twitter that just don't like with Breece Hall. I fucking love Breece Hall. I don't think they're going Ashton Jeanty here.
Make no sense.
Like, and they're about to lose. What's his name? Reed. What's I always forget his first name.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Anyways, yeah.
Either way, I think I'm gonna go with the pick that I don't see a lot of people making here. But he's definitely a top 10 talent, and he could go in this spot. And now imagine you lose your second best corner, and you replace him with the best corner in the draft. Will Johnson.
I would like to say one thing though. You let Alan Lazard go seek a trade to see what they can get, and you're also cut Devontae Adams. You can argue that's your number 2 and your number 3. So that being said too, I don't know what's going on with Garrett Wilson. I mean, I think he's going to be a Jet, but there's a possibility that he's not a Jet. But as of right now, your receiver room is low. Like your receiver room is very thin.
But they also have Aaron Glenn as their head coach now, a defensive coordinator.
So this might sound weird to you guys, and that's fine. Lock in Ashton Jeanty to the Panthers right here for me.
Yeah, best player available. I love it.
Because not necessarily the need. Well, first of all, if the Texas running back they just took and Jonathan Brooks was held, he's not playing on next year, and he barely played last year. But Ashton Jeanty's way better than him. I'm sorry, but even if Jonathan Brooks comes back healthy, you can maybe have the best duo in the NFL.
Remember they just paid Chuba Hubbard
Miles Sanders.
No, Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah, that's too. And obviously Miles Sanders is either going to get cut or we're trading him, right? So we got just one running back that we're comfortable on. Chuba Hubbard will be your veteran guy in the lock. And it'll be Chuba Hubbard and Ashton Jeanty, which is already an upgrade for Miles Sanders. So I love that pick for the Panthers.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with you. And let's see. We do need wide receiver here. We need D-line. Man,
it doesn't matter.
It really doesn't matter what you do here. But I think I can't allow Will Campbell to slip much further than this. Derek Carr got his ass beat The last 2 years he's been with the Saints. I have felt bad for that man, and he has been playing through broken ribs and stuff. I don't think I need to say much more. Will Campbell, he's the best.
Stay home.
He's definitely the best guard available if he doesn't play tackle for you. So
yep. Stay home.
Stay home.
I would 1,000%. I would probably take Mimbo here if they didn't do the free agency moves, right?
Oh, so he tested like a freak.
I think the Bears are perfectly fine at all line. I think you do not invest a fourth and what is it, a fifth? What did I forget?
A sixth
I know they
and
spent
a fourth, yeah.
Yeah, you don't spend a fourth and a sixth this offseason, in my opinion, to draft a O-line in the first round, especially when you have 2 Pro Bowl tackles.
You could still take a tackle, bro.
You could, but I think that secondary needs a little help.
They're good at guard. They're good at guard.
Yeah, we need edge rush or we need secondary. So we can go secondary here. We can take Barron, the best corner here. But I like a little bit of I like Jael Campbell here. I think we got to go pass rush, and I think we got to get Campbell? That. Yeah.
Who's more of an off-ball guy, but he has pass rush upside for sure.
Yeah. I think we could get somebody that's like kind of like a Swiss Army knife on defense and very well rounded. And you can argue that because you don't need a tight end, right? So Tyler Warren's the best player available here in my opinion, but you don't need a tight end. You have a perfectly good tight end, and I can make a case that Jael Campbell's the best player available right now. So let's go Jael Campbell to the Bears.
All right. No, I don't hate that pick. He's got some good pass rush upside. And now the 49ers.
Sorry,
we don't know what the hell is going on with the 49ers, honestly. Ward is expected to not want to stay with them.
That Greenlaw test free agency are going to, I should say.
They have an awful O-line. They need guard. They need tackle. They need right tackle real bad. They need help. They need help along the D-line. They need help in the secondary.
Receivers.
Now, I think I'm going to actually go with a safety here for them. They haven't had like an elite safety to speak of, or even a solid safety to speak of. And I'm going to go with the guy that I actually think is the number 1 safety in this class. And that's Nick Emmanwori. This guy tested like an absolute animal. No, dude, I don't pay attention to fucking
43 is insane.
PFF's grades. I mean, look at the coverage grade for them, though. Either way, I don't care. He's 6'3", almost 230. He ran a sub 440, a sub 440. He tested at the top of the class on every single thing at the combine. I think it's something they've needed for a long time, and you're getting your DK Metcalf on the defensive side of the ball. So. And 49ers fans, let me know what you think of that pick, because I've been sitting on that one for a while. I think I could have forced him down a little bit more. He could have gone to the Colts. He could have gone to the Dolphins. Shit, he could have gone to my team, the Bengals. But I think he is actually going to go much higher than people think, and he's going to go higher than Malachi Starks too. GM's love.
Yeah. So we got the Cowboys. I think we got to protect Dak. I really do. I don't think your line's that good, and especially with Zach Martin retiring. Your line's not very good, and I think Mimbu's the best player available here because you don't need tight end. Mimbu's a freak, and I think he would be a perfect fit, and he's a day 1 starter, and Dak needs him bad. So
you want to talk about a guy that he went from like being a top 30 prospect to being a top 15 prospect.
He's probably my favorite tackle, offensive lineman this whole entire
He's a little undersized for tackle, but he's got the length. He's got like 34, 35-inch long arms. Like the dude's got length.
And Dallas knows how to draft offensive linemen, and they will not miss.
And you know who doesn't know how to draft offensive linemen?
Yep.
Ends up, am I right? Let me see here.
They would probably take Calvin Banks. I'm gonna be honest.
No, they're not. They're not drafting O-line. I will never force them to take O-line. I think I'm gonna actually take a player here. I don't typically take this high, but he might be the best run stuffing tackle in this draft class. I'm not even gonna lie. Kenneth Grant is an absolute massive human being. 6'3", 340 nose tackle. He's the only true nose tackle in the class that's worth a damn. And I think you would be lucky if you're a Dolphins fan to have somebody like him across your D-line. I'm going to be honest with you. Kenneth Grant, he's a fucking dog. Go watch film on him. Him and Mason Graham were unstoppable. As an Ohio State fan, they both pissed me off. But yeah, go on, Kyle.
I've been picking this a lot, and you guys are probably getting really sick of me, and that's fine. Colts are taking Tyler Warren. I'm almost That's so simple to me. Like
Yep.
AR needs check down. Tyler Warren would help AR a lot. Shane Steichen likes screens. Tyler Warren's really good in screens, very physical, good with the balls in his hands. AR would love him. Easy
Yep.
pick.
Now, to me, we've kind of forced edge rush here a lot, and I don't think I'm going to change. And I don't, dude, these two with the character issues, how much I want to, like, actually believe in that, I don't know. But I can't let James Pierce Jr. slip much further, so I'm taking James Pierce Jr. to theirs. The Atlanta Falcons. They've have been 32nd or 31st in the league since like 2008 at pass rush. They're awful. It's the worst organization you can go to if you're a pass rusher. So why not get a almost generational player with James Pierce Jr.? So yeah.
This is pretty chalk here too. I feel like Cardinals the secondary. We need to help Buda Baker. So I think Jadi Barron right here, the best corner available right here, is very beneficial to Cardinals. The only way that I can see this change, I just want to throw this out here, is if maybe we trade Kyler Murray. If that happens, speculations that there's been thrown around that maybe right here you reach on a guy like Jackson Dart. I'm not going to predict that right now, but I would take a corner here, best corner available right here, and it's the slot corner. Right, slot corner you would think he would play.
He's so versatile. He could end up being a safety too, honestly.
Yeah, I think Cardinals have to take a chance on that guy, and I think he has a lot of upside. So.
All right, now as a Bengals fan, let me see here. I would not hesitate in real life to take Mike Green, but there's a lot more needs here than what this says. Absolutely. Why is wide receiver a need unless they are assuming T's gone?
Tell them why what news happened today, Colton. We got to tell them.
So, as a lot of you probably know, today happened. I think like around 2:30, 3 o'clock Eastern time. It was announced that the Bengals allowed Trey Hendrickson to request a trade. They allowed him to seek a trade. My bad. Allowed him to seek a trade, which means he can go talk to teams, him and his agent, see their interest level with him. If the compensation is right for the Bengals, they'll trade him away. But in the meantime, I'm assuming they're going to try to get a deal done, but I think Trey wants too much money. Personally, I'm not paying him more than $25 million. And it seems like the consensus thinks he's going to get paid over 30 or 30. And I'm not willing to pay that. I love Trey. I want him on the team. But if the draft compensation is correct, we could do it. That being said, I don't think I'm going to do a trade with him. But I am considering trading back right now, just in general. I think I do want to trade back with the Broncos. Because I think the Broncos, these three teams have similar needs in my eyes. The Broncos, the Seahawks, and the Buccaneers all could use probably
receiver or tight end.
They really need guard help, but I think the Broncos don't need guard help, but they really need receiver, tight end. And I think the Broncos would probably trade up here to get their receiver, and that's what I'm going to do.
I think they would trade up and get Loveland, because I think that's just what Sean Payton wants.
That's exactly what I'm going to do.
No, hey, man.
Denver Broncos, trade
me
back,
and you on the same level.
And we'll give...
I think they should give you a fourth. Yeah. That's perfect right there.
Why is it saying they're not interested in trading for this pick? I don't care. No, that's a little rich for only 3 picks in the first. I think a 5th gets it done, unless that's a 6th. That's a 6th.
You're gonna have to be at 121 if you do that.
121. Let's do it. All right. Either way, again, that doesn't really affect this that much. We just moved back 3 spots. It's all good. So now the Broncos are on the clock, and yeah, they're taking their tight end of the future, or Luther Bird.
I think Loveland's gonna be more beneficial for the.
I think they do need a tight end more than a receiver. They do need a receiver pretty bad, though.
They do.
But I will take Loveland here. So now the Seahawks.
So now I get to pick. Now I get to pick for the Bengals too. Yeah. So Seahawks. DK is probably gonna get traded unless you guys are just gonna be unrealistic and ask for a first and a third, because it's not worth a first and a third. So That being said, in my mind, you guys will come off that price a little bit. He's worth a first. I'm not saying that, but you're gonna come off that price a little bit and keep becoming in this mock. I will be trading DK Metcalf for me, so just keep that in mind. So Seattle Seahawks right here is gonna take best receiver available, and we're gonna start building wide receiver U is gonna come true at Seattle Seahawks. We're gonna take a Mecca Buka here because I think that's what they need. So Mecca Buka to Seattle Seahawks.
So Dolly Ohio State receivers there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, Buccaneers.
I love that pick too.
In the same boat relatively, but I think they need more edge rush than they need wide receiver. And Mike Green has slipped far enough. Man, they really need. Yeah. I'm gonna take Mike Green here. They've needed honestly a true edge rusher for a while, and I think Mike Green, if the character flaws are real, then yeah, we're gonna regret that pick. But if it's all unsubstantiated, then you got yourself a steal because he's going top 10 in a lot of cases. So be happy, Buccaneers fans.
Okay, for Who Dey Nation, I see 3 players here that I like for you guys.
Let's look at the
I'll start. Well, 4 players I should say. I like Starks, probably the best player available here. I like Josh Simmons. Always love to keep Joe Burrow healthy, and I think Josh Simmons has a lot of upside for you guys. I think Williams from Georgia.
We've got 2 bookend tackles. I think we're chilling.
So what I'll say is what I prefer for you guys. I like Williams from Georgia. I think you stretch some hair on him, and I think he's somebody you need, and he's edge, and we can start building to start replacing for Trey Henderson, and we can start updating that D line, and let's start building O line, D line, and let's start building this defense the proper way. So that's
all right. I'm Michael Williams.
Williams from Georgia. Yep.
Personally, I was actually going to go Shamar Stewart for us. I think the athletic freak, I would take a chance on at this point with Trey Hendrickson wanting to get out. So I would absolutely take a chance. And,
by the way, the team I wanted to trade for a player, you have them. So I will keep that in mind. You can
mention it to me. It's all good. Steelers.
Come on, man.
They really need another corner, but there's not a corner we're taking here. They don't need edge. They could use tackle.
Jackson Dart right here on the front. Jackson Dart.
No, I think I'm gonna go.
Little first round pick.
I think I'm gonna go with Luther Burden to them. They've needed an actual accessory for George Pickens, and honestly, he does stuff George Pickens doesn't do. So it'd be great. They could be a great 1-2 punch.
I don't know if a lot of people have Chargers taking this player, but I think I'm gonna take Stewart for the Chargers because I think we gotta replace Khalil Mack. Like I think we gotta get rid of him because he's 34 years old, but that doesn't mean he's still not productive. Problem with Stewart is he doesn't have a lot of sacks in his career in his college, but he has a lot of upside, and GMs believe that they can tune him up to be one of the most dominant sackers in the league, and I believe in that. Chargers love their defense. I think we got to replace Khalil Mack and start filling some holes, and he's one of them. Right here's where I would trade DK Metcalf to, by the way.
For the 23rd pick?
Absolutely.
You know what?
Absolutely. I think Green Bay is the best. I think Green Bay is the absolute best suitor. Them or the Chargers, and I wanted to trade for the Chargers, but I think Jordan Love is better for him.
No, I like this as a place. First of all, they're tied to where do you go? They're tied to DK Metcalf anyway.
They're not interested as fucking. How about a first and a fourth? I think a third's just too rich. I'm gonna be honest.
I don't think they're interested in general, but that's not because PFF doesn't like to update anything.
So,
but first and third's way too much. First of all, the 23rd overall pick should get it done in my eyes.
It's going to be a receiver on top of that.
But I'm not offering them. Again, the compensation does not matter because this is a 1-round mock draft. So you guys can figure out amongst yourselves what you think the compensation is, but we'll throw them.
I think Wicks in a first is perfectly fine here.
No, it's fine. This is fine. This is perfectly fine. You guys can figure out the other compensation some other time. We're just going to force this trade here. According to Twitter, they expect a first and a third. Good luck, Seahawks. Like, you're not getting rid of him for a first and a third. No one's paying that. But 23 probably gets it done.
The receiver.
23rd should get it done. And now I'm on the clock with the Seahawks. They
They took the wide receiver already.
Yeah, they definitely need offensive line. I just don't. Josh Simmons is a pure tackle. He's not a guard. He doesn't have guard upside, but there is somebody else that does, who took his spot this year, stepped outside of his comfort zone. Wait, where'd he go? Did we already get rid of him?
Who are you talking about? The guy from Missouri?
No, Ohio State. Donovan Jackson. Where'd he go? Why is he rated so lowly? What is going on here?
I have no idea. I think they could take a Tyler Booker too, to keep that in mind. But
actually, now that I'm looking at it, Gray Zabel is probably the better pick here. They need more interior help than anything else, and Gray Zabel tested like a freak at the combine. He was probably the best interior O lineman. Actually, he was. I'm gonna stand on that. I'm gonna stand on that. He was the best interior O lineman at the Senior Bowl, and it really wasn't that close. So I think if you're a Seahawks fan, you run this to the podium. You got your receiver to replace him, and then you go and get your interior offensive lineman. Yeah, come on now. Now the Vikings.
how good was their D line last year? Pretty good.
I don't think it's quite as good as it was before, but
yeah. So I think let's take a guy and Derek Harmon, freak. I think he's very good in Minnesota. He's really good against the run, and they need to stop the run in that division, with Amir Gibbs and Josh Jacobs, and I think he shores up that defense. Gives a little bit of pass rush, but not a whole lot.
He's a 3-tech.
Stop. I like Derek Harmon there, and I think he's very good. I think he earned a spot to be here.
He's absolutely a 3-tech. He's got athletic upside. He's got athletic traits. He's more than just a run stopper. He's pretty versatile. All right, so now we got the Texans, who just traded for Christian Kirk. Gave up a 7th round pick for Christian Kirk. Hopefully that he can come back from that injury. But do they need a receiver anymore? Probably not. And I think they have to take Josh Simmons here. I think they absolutely need help on the O-line.
Oh, I agree. Oh, absolutely.
And him opposite of Laramie Tunsil would be nasty. So
yes, he would.
I'm just going to lock it. Josh Simmons. DJ Stroud. I'm pretty sure Josh Simmons.
I did read some rumors that Matthew Golden is people believe he could be the number 1 wide receiver in this draft now.
Dude, I fucking love Matthew.
So I think here's what I'm saying. Rams, we are probably not keeping Cooper Kupp. That means our wide receiver 2 is gone. Because we just got Puka Nacua, and we just signed Atwell to a $10 million deal. Why do we replace Cooper Kupp just like this? And let's get Matthew Golden here.
They also just traded away their best tackle, by the way, for pennies. So.
They did, but I think Stafford. I'd like Matthew Golden here, but I think he's the best player available.
He's a good compliment. He's a great compliment to Puka Nacua. They're not the same receiver in the slightest. Yeah, I love it. And of course, the Ravens are going to be happy to stick and pick and get the arguable best safety in the class here and pair him, a true free safety, by the way, and pair him next to arguably the best strong safety in the league in Kyle Hamilton. You have the best duo. They play a lot of three high safety, or not 3 high safety, just 3 safety looks in general. That's just the way their defense rolls. And I think Malachi Starks would thrive in that defense.
We got a trade alert.
What?
Lions are trading with the Cleveland Browns to get Myles Garrett.
What are they trading?
It's happening. We are giving up a first this year, probably a first next year, and a second this year, right? That's pretty fair. So a first and a second this year, and a third and a first next year, or third this year. I think third. We'll do third next year.
I think
let them have their second.
I think a third this year would get it done.
Yeah. For
that's
Myles,
not a third. That's a fourth.
I still think that's as fair, even if
no.
Fourth. It's
maybe a second next year.
Okay. And we're gonna send Myles Garrett, and we're gonna pair him with Aiden Hutchinson, and we're gonna have the best pass rush in the league. Not close.
Again, doesn't matter. Either way, the only pick that gets affected this year would probably be the 28th overall pick. So you guys can talk about compensation for some other time in the comments.
Now, I
Push
will
that
say
shit.
this. You're like, why do we train Miles Garrett and you didn't pick me Abdul Carter? Well, one, Cleveland's stupid. Sorry. And two, you
Very
still
realistic.
it doesn't change the fact that you still need a quarterback and you have a lot of cap space with restructuring Watson and you don't have a lot coming that you can get some free agents and you still it doesn't matter if you have a Miles Garrett or Abdul Carter if you don't have a quarterback to win you football games, it doesn't matter. Miles Garrett doesn't want to play for you guys regardless. Get what you can for him, whether you replace him or not. He doesn't want to play for you. It should not matter. Amari and Hampton here. Thank you very much, Cleveland. You should love me. Chalk. Nick Chubb, trade his ass. You replace Nick
and
Chubb.
running back.
You got your quarterback and running back, and that's your foundation. Let's start building on for the future proper way.
I think we're probably done with trades. I think there's any more that's super realistic other than maybe some wanting to trade into the first to get a quarterback, but I don't think any of these teams are going to want to do that. Yeah, Washington's going to be swimming in that Myles Garrett pool. Maybe, dude, honestly, I'm hoping they give us the 29th pick for Trey Hendrickson, but I'm not going to do it this draft. No, dude, screw it. This has already been kind of a crazy draft. Let's just do it. Let's just make this even crazier. Let's see. It's going to be a pick swap because I don't think we're getting a first for Trey. But let's see. They need edge badly. That's why they're going to be swimming in those pools. So we'll take 29 and we'll give you
81.
No, we're not giving up a third and Trey for a first. That's not happening. We'll give you a fourth. But again, this doesn't affect it other than 29. That's the only thing it affects. So we'll go ahead and do that. Washington fans, I'm sure you would be delighted to get Trey Hendrickson on your team, get a little bit of draft stock back with him, and you guys are probably going to be trying to trade that first round pick for an edge rusher anyway. So, let's see. We got Mykel Williams, who is a versatile edge rusher. He is more than just a pure pass rusher. He actually could use a little bit of help doing a little bit of pass rushing. He's a little bit of development then. Other than that, he's really good at alt ball. He's really good at running, stopping. And I think we shoe up our D-line just in general. And I'm taking Walter Nolan here. Like you were talking about, probably bona fide day one starter on the interior. Chris Jenkins and McKinley Jackson were solid, but I think he would absolutely come in and level up that line by a lot. So you got the Bills here.
Yeah, you kind of ruined my last trade because I didn't think you were going to trade there. I was going to do Bills just for T. Higgins, but I'm not going to do it now.
Do whatever you feel like.
But I think
what mock drafts are for.
They can use edge. I like Nick Scorton here to the Bills. I think Von Miller, and everybody else would do a very good job. And I like Nick Scorton here to the Bills.
All right, and I'm going with the Cheeks, the Kansas City Cheeks. It's down to Kelvin Banks and Josh Connerly, and I think Josh Connerly's a better tackle. I really do. He was voted by his peers and the coaching staffs of the Senior Bowl as the best lineman there in general. So I'm going to trust him. I think Josh Connerly's a great fit for them. They've needed tackle help for, honestly, since they lost Orlando Brown to the Bengals. They've needed tackle help. So,
and I've done this before in my first mock. And I'll take Jalen Walker here if he does fall to 32 because he's got a lot of upside, and Vic Fangio using him more as a pass rusher.
A lot of people are comping him to a poor man's like a great value Micah Parsons. If that's what he is, if that's what he turns out to be, you'll take him.
Yep.
So honestly, let's look through. Let's do our little shtick. What's your favorite pick? What's your least favorite pick?
I would say least favorite pick. I mean, if I was a Dolphins fan, I would say Kenneth Grant because you got to protect Tua.
Bro, listen.
And everybody behind that pick, like we could have had Josh from Oregon, we could have had Greg Zabel, we could have had what's his name from Ohio State, Josh Simmons. All of them, in my opinion,
Hey,
is more beneficial to Kenneth Grant.
I'm 100% with you.
So
I'm 100% with you, but it doesn't matter. They have not taken first round offensive linemen. They don't do
no.
it. That's the only reason why I even looked at D-line. Safety was probably their next biggest need next to O-line, and I think Kenneth Grant's just too good to pass up. They haven't been able to stop the run since probably my entire life. I haven't seen the Dolphins be good at stopping the run. Even with Christian Wilkins, he's a 3-tech. He wasn't a run stuffing kind of guy. He was a get after the quarterback and cause mayhem kind of guy. He was decent at stopping the run, but that's not what his game was. I think Dolphins fans would be ecstatic to have Kenneth Grant. But
So
yeah,
that would be my least favorite, and my favorite pick in the draft would probably Amari Hampton to the Browns.
your favorite pick?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I think that kind of goes without saying. Like, Amari and Hampton for them would be a perfect fit. That would be awesome for them. I think my favorite pick would have to be Colson Loveland to the Broncos. It's just a perfect fit. Somebody who's going to be a basically 6 foot, he's 6'5.5" on the dot. So basically 6'6", slot corner. That's just going to bulldoze people. He is so fucking good. So I think it's a great pick for them. Probably my least favorite pick. I don't. Maybe Nick Scorton. I think a lot of people are off of Nick Scorton. I think they're out on him. There's just something about his work ethic that people aren't really too thrilled about. But other than that, like it's not even really.
I think if he goes to the Bills, I think he'd be just fine.
It's not even that bad. It's not even a bad pick, really. It's just what was available. Like Azir Waku, we don't really ever take him in the first, but he's also borderline first round talent out of Boston College. I think the Bengals should take him. I really want Shamar Stewart to the Bengals, honestly, but Michael Williams is a great pick too. Yeah, let us know what you guys think in the comments. We could talk about it in the comments if you want. Have a little bit of discourse. I love it. And while you're at it, while you're down there in the comment section, why don't you hit the like button? Hit the subscribe button. We're going to keep doing these and all the way up leading to the draft. Hell, we might even do them a week after the draft. Who knows? For no reason. We might even do one for 2026. Just our early predictions. And we're
probably
not
guys.
Yeah, maybe not. We don't know shit about those picks. We won't know anything about those players until next year anyway. But yeah, let us know what you guys think in the comments. Anything you want to say before we go?
That I think if as I'm gonna elaborate this again as you Browns fans, because I'm really passionate about this, that if you guys walked away trading a player that doesn't want to play for you guys anymore, and you got a first this year, a first next year, and a second, if that was really the compensation, and on top of that, you took one of those first and you went and got Amari Hampton, and in your first this year, you didn't have to trade at all. You stood there and you got a top 2 quarterback in this draft. And if I'm looking at this board right here, Browns fans, you are the best drafted team this year. And I'm being honest. You were the best drafted team this year, and you're finally starting to build your franchise the right way. As long as these players that you have right here pan out, which you never know. I don't care how much scouting, care how much they have to go on the field and pan out. And I think Shador would clear everybody in your room, and I think you guys would love Shador and want to build everything around him. Brings a lot of money into your franchise, too, with having a name like Shador Sanders. And Amari Hampton could just damn well be the best running back in this draft class, other than Ashton Jeanty. So you won the draft if this is how it goes, and you got rid of a player that didn't want to play for you, and got even more compensation coming for that pick. It's steal, Browns fans. You should be happy.
I 100% agree with all of his points on the Browns. You guys would be elated to have Shador and Amari Hampton. That's like such a quick turnaround for your entire offense.
Maybe a French playoff team next year. I'm gonna be honest. Maybe.
With the amount of talent that they've had, especially on defense, they shouldn't be missing the playoffs like they did this year. But hey, I mean, that's the NFL. Every team is good. It's just about what teams are less good. So, all right, that'll be it for us. Like I said, hit the like button, subscribe. We're going to be doing this a lot all the way leading up to the draft. So, yeah, see you guys in the next one.